if you guys are wasting your time like right now, barking up the tree of somebody who's done no wrong, then maybe somebody should help you not waste your time doing that. Because right now, you can do whatever you want, but man, dude, I didn't fucking do anything. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do with fucking Bobby Bagger's murder, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, believe me, it's on we know on the street. We heard that the guy got fucking murdered. Everybody knows it. If you think that I had something to do with any kind of thefts, or even had anything to do with the guy that you're showing right there, and the car thing and stuff that day, man, you're just wrong, man. You're barking up the wrong tree. You got your stories all confused and shit.
This is Mark Denklau, 61 years old, president of the Gypsy Joker Outlaw Motorcycle Club's Portland chapter for over 15 years. In the world of outlaw motorcycle clubs, the president is the most powerful man in the room. He doesn't answer to anyone. He gives orders. Others carry them out. And when something goes wrong, he makes it disappear. In June 2015, a former club member named Robert Huggins broke into Denklau's home, tied up his girlfriend, stole his guns. It was the worst mistake of Huggins' life. Within days, Huggins was kidnapped, transported across state lines, and tortured to death. His body was found in a field in Ridgefield, Washington. Now, Denklau is sitting in an interrogation room with two detectives. He doesn't know how much they know. He doesn't know who's already talking. And in about 45 minutes, he's going to bring up the murder himself.
Before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome. If this channel has earned a subscription, this is my thank you in advance. Now, let's get into it.
Mark?
Yep.
My name's Scott Curtis with the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
All right. What's your name?
Kevin. Harper.
Kevin?
Also with Clark County.
What's going on, fellas?
Well, obviously we're not from Portland. A couple things we need to do before we chat, and then we'll explain everything. Just so you know, everything in here is recorded, right?
Okay.
Police station, it's always recorded. You understand
Sure.
that? Okay. And because you are in a police station, I got to advise you of your rights.
Okay.
I'm guessing you may have seen something like this before in your past.
I've heard them.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read them to you.
All right.
All right. Before you are asked any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before we ask you any questions and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the court will appoint one before any questioning. Okay? I have read each of the above rights and understand them. Is that correct, sir?
Yep.
All right. If I can have you sign right there, please. Thank you, sir. It's okay if I call you Mark?
Sure.
All right.
You're Jeff's American Classics, is that where you work?
No, that's where I hang out. I don't really work there. I hang out there.
Where do you work at?
I don't have a job. I work on bikes. I do bikes for anybody who's willing to pay me. I've been done for years.
Listen to how calm he is. He's been here before. He says so himself. He knows how this works. He signs everything. He answers small talk. He gives them nothing. This is a man who spent decades in outlaw motorcycle club culture. You don't talk to police. You don't volunteer information. You control the room. For the next hour, that's exactly what he tries to do.
You're with a motorcycle club. You have some affiliation with one, is that right?
I don't have any answers for questions like that.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is that a few months back, a gentleman named Jeff Sudan, you know him? He threw your name out in conjunction with kind of a repossession of a car, or collection of a car. Does that sound familiar to you?
No. Jeff Sudan almost might. I'm not sure about that. It seems like Sudan rings a bell somewhere, but no collections of a car. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
But where do you live, sir?
Down by Salem.
Okay. What's your address?
It's on my driver's license. It's one.
I don't have your driver's
one.
license.
You guys have my billfold. Is actually the address.
Oh, okay.
It's down by Salem.
Okay. And you're living with a gal down there, is that right?
No, I kicked her out.
And what's her name?
Nicole.
Nicole had Let me back up a little bit. How long have you been in a relationship?
I'm not going to answer any more questions about Nicole.
Okay.
I don't have any more answers for you until I find out what you're talking about.
Okay, well,
you guys brought me in. I didn't bring you in. I want to hear what you got to talk about.
Well, I'm trying to get to that, but part of that's going to involve how long you've known Nicole.
Well, you're going to if you don't want to tell me what the heck I'm doing here, say so, because I'm not going to sit here and give you a bunch of my background so you can play whatever kind of game you're playing. This is kind of stupid, man. I just got picked up and treated pretty roughly. You can still see the marks on my hands. This one was completely asleep all the way here, and thrown in a complete silent room there. I want to know what the heck's going on, man.
Okay.
He won't answer questions about the motorcycle club. He won't answer questions about Nicole. He won't even tell them his own address. He tells them to check his driver's license. But here's what's interesting. He's not nervous. He's annoyed. There's a difference. A nervous man tries to fill the silence. Mark Denklau uses silence like a weapon. He's been trained his entire life not to talk to police, and right now he's executing that training perfectly. The detectives know they need to change tactics.
I wish Nicole was here. I feel like a piece of shit for even talking shit behind her back. Nicole set the whole fucking thing up. That was her and her friend. They fucking zip-tied her. They knew the fucking guy was coming. That was a setup. She robbed me. She even brought the stuff that was robbed. She brought a bunch of it back. Man, that's her and her friends. If you want to know the fucking truth, I've been robbed by the girl so many fucking times you couldn't even count it.
Really?
And that whole robbery right there, that stuff, everything she stole from me then that she brought back everything she couldn't sell on offer up, her and her fucking junkie friends. And that's what fucking happened there, man. It was a total lie. I know it was for a fact. She, like I said, her mom knows. She told her mom what all fucking kind of stuff was stolen in this big robbery, and then her mom comes over when I was throwing her out, and her mom starts looking at all the stuff and goes, "Oh shit!"
And we can tell you right now, Nicole's in front of a grand jury.
Okay.
Okay. There is. You say talk to her. We have. There's a story there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Okay.
that.
So
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that. So we have a story. So we want to get your side of it.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So we know what's true and what's not true.
All right.
So are we going to tell you everything that we know? Of course not.
Okay.
I don't think you would expect that.
All right. Well, what I do expect is for you to tell me where I fit in. What is my crime in these stories that you're talking about? What's my crime? Why the fuck did I get handcuffs put on me? I mean, I can hear you guys wanting to talk about this and that, wanting to get stories straight, but why am I getting treated like this?
There it is, the first crack. He held the line on every question for 15 minutes. Motorcycle club, no answer. Nicole, no answer. The car, no answer. Then something shifts. He decides the safest play is to get ahead of Nicole's story, frame himself as the victim before she can frame him as anything else. Nicole set the robbery up. Nicole is the liar. Nicole is the problem. But Nicole is already sitting in front of a grand jury, and detectives had been building this case for months. He just handed them exactly what they needed.
Is Bagger Bob part of that? Part of her junkie friends?
Bagger Bob?
Yeah. That ring a bell?
Fuck, you're talking. Yeah, I know who that is. He's fucking the guy that got killed about a fucking year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he one of the ones who set this up with Nicole?
Man, you're gonna have to, if you're trying to like tie that into this or something like that, you're gonna have to talk to Nicole about that.
Okay. Well, I was asking you because you said it was her junkie friends, and I assumed that meant you knew who junkie friends were.
No, not the kind of junkie that I heard he was. She's not that kind of a junkie.
Okay. Can you help? What kind of junkie is he?
I don't know. I'm sure you probably know better than I do.
So when you say her junkie friends,
yeah, I'm not talking about any of our ex-fucking club brothers or anything like that. No.
okay. All right.
I'm talking about her friends, not my friends.
Got it. Okay. So was Bagger Bob one of your friends, not hers?
Yeah, well, like I said, actually, if now that fucking you're starting to bring his name into it, and he got killed, now I don't think I have any other questions to answer for you. Now I think having a lawyer here might be a good idea.
Okay. Sorry.
I think that'd be a good idea if you're starting to ask questions about a dead guy.
Okay. Well,
Stop. Let's rewind that for a moment. The detective asked one question. One, Was Bagger Bob part of her junkie friends? A simple yes or no. And Mark Denklau, a man who just spent 15 minutes refusing to confirm he even belongs to a motorcycle club, immediately knows exactly who Bagger Bob is, knows he's dead, knows he was killed, and the moment that name comes up, he wants a lawyer. You don't ask for a lawyer because someone mentioned a dead man you barely knew. You ask for a lawyer because that dead man is the reason you're sitting in that room.
Quick pause. If you're this deep into the video and you haven't subscribed yet, this is your sign. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more than you know. Now, back to it.
Well, let me clarify something with you.
Okay.
Do you want us to keep chatting, or do you want to talk to a lawyer? I need to know that.
Well,
We can keep
if you
chatting,
can
but
kind
you
of,
have to
if
tell
you
me.
want to tell me what I'm doing here and what reason, I may try to help you out with that. But if you're gonna keep me in the dark, well, then I got nothing else to say either.
Okay. So I still need to clarify with you that one point, because you mentioned a lawyer, and I need to know if you want a lawyer now or if we can keep chatting. This is what I
You
need to know.
can keep chat. I'll keep listening a little longer before I call in a lawyer. Yeah.
Okay. When the FedEx guy called you, you came down to the house with a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to your house by yourself? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
What did the FedEx guy tell you?
He said, "Fucking." I'm not going to get into the story. I'm not going to get into the story. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk about it. That's Nicole. Nicole's going to have to tell you that story if you want to hear something from her. If you got her all involved in this.
Well, Mark, let me say this. We have you're saying their stories, so whether they're true or not, that's what we're trying to find out. Okay.
Right.
That's our job.
Okay.
To realize that, right?
Sure.
And as cops, so if there's incidents happen, we got to figure out what's true and what's not.
Okay.
And we do that by talking with people.
Okay.
Obviously, that happened a while ago, so we've been working on this for a while, months.
Okay.
Okay. That story starts a much larger story that we have. Right, starts with at your house with a theft happening that includes Nicole being there, okay? And there's a FedEx guy calls you, right? So this is where everything's.
That's why I wish she was here,
right?
So she could straighten some of this.
So this has been going on for a while. And you keep telling us, talk to Nicole, get the story from her.
Well, if she's the one that's involved in this story, you need to talk to the players.
Right.
I'm not telling you to talk to her.
I understand.
I'm telling you to talk to whatever players you're talking about in your story there. You talk to them, and whoever you said rode there with me or whatever, talk to them. But you guys have got to also.
So over the last several months, well over half a year, we have talked to a lot of people.
Okay.
And we can tell you right now, Nicole's in front of a grand jury.
He keeps going. Even after asking for a lawyer, he keeps talking. Because Mark Denklau has spent decades believing he's the smartest man in any room he walks into. In a clubhouse, in a back room, on the street, that confidence always served him. But the detectives just told him they've been building this case for over 6 months. They've talked to a lot of people, and those people are sitting in front of a grand jury right now. He still thinks he can talk his way out of this. He's wrong.
Let me think if I even want it. Any stories that I tell at all about that guy, they dip into club business. It's club stuff. And I'm not going to go club stuff with you guys for nothing. That's just, it's against my fucking rules, and it ain't going to happen.
Okay.
Man, dude, I didn't fucking do anything. I ain't got nothing to do with fucking Bobby Bagger's murder, if that's what you're talking about. Believe me, it's on we know on the street. We heard that the guy got fucking murdered. Everybody knows it. If you think that I had something to do with any kind of thefts, or even had anything to do with the guy that you're showing right there, and the car thing and stuff that day, man, you're just wrong, man. You're barking up the wrong tree. You got your stories all confused and shit. I'm sorry that's that way for you, but you definitely got some stories all mixed together that don't have to do with each other. And hopefully Nicole will straighten you guys out on that today, because it sounds like they're her stories. I will say one thing. Once that dude came out of the club, when I was out of the club, I've never seen him or know anything about him since, except for small little stories about people running into him and him flipping him off and driving off and little shit like that. Sightings, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
Other than that, I've never seen him, never heard nothing about him, except that he went full junkie. But the truth is, the junkie shit, getting caught being a junkie is what got him kicked out of the club.
Okay.
So,
is he a needle user or a smoker or what?
really, I don't know what he did. It's in tinfoil, so do you mix that and shoot it with a needle, or do you smoke it? I really don't know. I don't know much about heroin. I don't know much about heroin. I just know that some things are completely against our fucking rules.
Sure.
And that was one of them.
We would have the same rules.
If you touch heroin or many other drugs around us, and we find out about it, you're out.
Okay.
And that's what happened to him. And I don't know anything about him since then, except for hearing on the street what a piece of shit he was. Mm-hmm. He turned into we thought he was maybe a piece of shit when we had him. Well, he turned into a lot worse piece of shit.
When did he leave the club?
When he left. And let me try to think if it was, I'm going to say, probably hasn't been too much over 2 years.
From now?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Probably wasn't too much over 2 years ago, but it could have been 3. Time flies by pretty fast in my older age. I guess it could have been 3 years ago now. It's been a while. A lot more people were alive back then when he left than now. We've had a lot of deaths in our club lately. Mm-hmm. But in any case, he's been out for a few years. He was a good friend of mine once. Was he? Yeah, he really was a good friend of mine once. And then in the end, I found out that he was just a lying piece of shit, is what he really was. So it didn't hurt my feelings too much. It was the heroin and the lying and stealing and everything else. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's that big a deal to tell you guys that he stole from the club, and then when he got caught for it, he blamed it all on heroin, which was an automatic kick out for him. So It's not like we found out about the heroin; we found out about the stealing. Yeah. And when we jumped about the stealing, he blamed it all on heroin. That's what happened. And he got kicked out of the club like anybody would. Mm-hmm. Some people come to us and admit they smoked heroin or smoked meth or smoked coke, you know what I mean? And we have to kick them out, whether they're coming to sometimes I wonder why they come and tell us. Right. You know, I mean, and then some guys, we kick them out and then we hear they quit. They should have quit before we kicked them out. Yeah. You know? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. But we do have our standards. Some things will get you kicked right out of the club. And stealing is one of them, and heroin is definitely another one. So.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Similar rules.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, where his life went after that, I don't know. I heard where it ended up, which doesn't surprise me much. You know, just knowing Bagger, you know, and listening to the stories he used to tell, which I'm not telling you from back in the club. It didn't surprise me much because I guess he was a bigger piece of shit than we. We couldn't even pull him out of his piece of shitness. That's the way I look at it, because if you think I have a bad attitude towards him, it's true. I don't have a good attitude towards anybody who ever steals from a motorcycle club, you know what I mean?
Nobody asked him if he was involved in the murder, not once. Not in this section, not anywhere in this interrogation up to this point. But here's what Mark Denklau just gave them without being asked. He confirmed Bagger was kicked out of the club. He confirmed the club's rules about heroin and stealing. He confirmed Bagger violated both. He confirmed he personally held deep contempt for Bagger. And then, completely on his own, he told them he had nothing to do with the murder. Innocent people don't deny crimes they haven't been accused of. The detectives didn't need to push. He just told on himself.
So help us get this thing unconfused. Because you're saying, go talk to people, but we don't know who to talk to.
Here you go.
Okay.
All right, man. I'm going to help you get unconfused, all right? If you think that I did something wrong, anything, okay, any kind of crime, let me get my lawyer over here, and I will tell my lawyer, you know what? Give these guys a lie detector test. Just take a lie detector test. Don't make these cops suspect the wrong people. So if you guys think I did anything wrong, hit me with a lie detector test or something. I've got nothing to fucking hide. I got nothing to hide, and I just got nothing to say. It's against my fucking nature to sit here and talk to cops. Now, I told you more than I probably wish I would have already. Okay? I should have even told you my name. You know what I mean? You got my name. You're playing games. You don't need to know my name. You knew my name before you brought me in here. In any case, if you think I did something, and you really do, if you really think I did something wrong, then you guys maybe think about giving me a lie detector test and seeing, lay it out. Lay what you think I did out on a lie detector test. I just want a lawyer there just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing or whatever. I'm willing to do that, just so you guys don't bark up the wrong tree. But I'm not willing to sit here and tell you stories like some piece of shit rat. Okay? You got your world, I got mine. In my world, rats are pieces of shit. I'm not going to sit here telling on Nicole. I'm not going to sit here telling on anybody. I'm not going to sit here telling on anybody for anything.
He sounds confident. He sounds like a man with nothing to hide. But here's what prosecutors proved at trial. After Robert Huggins was beaten to death and his body was dumped in that field, Mark Denklau called a meeting at the Portland clubhouse, and he stood in front of his members and said, "If you ever get a lie detector test, answer the question and bite your tongue. That's how you get by on a lie detector test." He didn't just know how to beat one, he taught others how to do it, and he offered the detectives one anyway.
So a few times you've, mentioned maybe a lawyer, maybe not. Before we go, we'd like to talk to you further, but we just want to make sure, it's your choice. If you want a lawyer, that's fine. We'll stop communicating here. If you don't want a lawyer, we can keep talking, and obviously as the right explains.
Then I must be going to get arrested, or you wouldn't have me call a lawyer in here. Then definitely I want a lawyer. If I'm going to get arrested, I want a lawyer, yeah.
So I don't know what your charges are going to be. That's being determined.
Okay.
There's, in addition to Nicole, there's several people that are in front of the grand jury last week and today, this week.
Partner, just que sera, sera. I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not really too worried about anything that anybody could say in front of a grand jury. So it ain't going to fucking reflect on me, and I don't even care what people are there. I know what I do throughout my life, so there's nothing that's gonna come bad on me. I don't know what kind of stuff you're gonna get out of in the grand jury today, but I'm pretty sure that in hours from now you're gonna see that it's not pointing at me. You're barking up the wrong tree. So if I'm under arrest for something, then yeah, let me call a lawyer.
Okay. So like I said, I don't know what your charges are going to be. That's being determined.
Yeah, man.
So
if there's going to be charges, so I just have to sit here now. I'm going to wait for you guys to decide what my charges are going to be. What a bunch of crap, man. Why didn't you figure that out before you came and got me if you're going to charge me with something? It's pretty rude treatment for somebody who isn't charged with anything yet.
Well, part of it was determined on what you were able to tell us or willing to tell us.
Yeah,
because you're the only one who can talk yourself out of the hole you're in.
Well, hole?
Yeah.
I'm not in a hole, man.
Well,
you guys may think I'm in a hole, but I know I'm not in a hole because have you done anything that you should be arrested for lately? I know I haven't. And so you're probably not too worried about getting arrested yourself. I may get arrested. Who knows? I don't know what you guys might try to arrest me for. I have no idea what time we'll see on that. Depends on what kind of stories you hear from junkies or whatever you've got in front of a grand jury today. But in any case, as soon as I need a lawyer, let me know I'll call one. But if I'm not under arrest yet for anything, I really don't want to bother a lawyer until you guys.
As I said,
my rights.
you're detained. You're not free to leave. You can't leave.
Okay.
Charges are being figured out right now.
All right. In that case,
there's going to be charges. So
okay. Then in that case, I have nothing else to say, and let me know when I need a lawyer. No problem. Thank you for making me realize that. In that case, I have absolutely nothing to say, and let me know when I need a lawyer.
Okay.
That's it. That's where the interrogation ends. He spent over an hour telling detectives they had the wrong man, that Nicole was the liar, that Bagger was a piece of shit who had it coming, that he had nothing to do with the murder that nobody had accused him of. And in the end, he sat in silence while they told him charges were coming. In December 2021, a jury took less than a week to decide he was lying the whole time. Robert Bagger Huggins, Jr. was 56 years old, a former club treasurer, a former enforcer, a man who made terrible choices in the years before his death, but who did not deserve to be kidnapped, tortured for hours, and left to die in a field. His nipples were removed. Nails were driven through his boots while he still wore them. He was beaten with a baseball bat until his skull fractured. His body was found by loggers on July 1, 2015. Mark Denklau was convicted in December 2021 of murder in aid of racketeering, kidnapping in aid of racketeering resulting in death, kidnapping resulting in death, and conspiracy. The verdict came after a 6-week federal trial with over 80 witnesses and 200 pieces of evidence. 6 club members broke the Gypsy Joker's most sacred rule: never talk to police. They talked anyway. The man who delivered the fatal bat blows, Tyler Priberno, told prosecutors this was Mark's show. He received 11 years for cooperating. In April 2022, U.S. District Judge Michael Mossman sentenced Denklau to life in federal prison without the possibility of parole. He was 61 years old. Co-defendant Chad Erickson received the same. At sentencing, prosecutors described Denklau as a man who prided himself on using violence to enforce his authority. A man who, for 15 years, held absolute power over the Portland chapter. He ordered a man's death. He coached his members on how to hide it. He offered detectives a lie detector test, knowing exactly how to beat one. And he sat in an interrogation room for over an hour, telling 2 detectives he had nothing to do with a murder nobody had asked him about. Nobody had asked.
Thank you for watching. If this channel has earned a place on your subscription list, I appreciate that more than I can say. Every single subscriber keeps this channel alive and allows me to keep telling these stories. See you in the next one.